Hello, Kimberly here, and today we're going to talk about attitude adjustment, and what that might mean for each of us. So let me tell you one thing. I have notes, and so if you see me looking down and you hear papers flipping, it's because I have my notes, because there's one thing I've learned, it's to kind of pick my battles, and trying to remember everything I want to share with you is not one of my battles. So anyway, are you waiting for a correcting storm? Are you waiting to hit rock bottom? Are you waiting for that proverbial slap upside the head before you start making some changes in your attitude? If you start looking to see, is your life where you want it to be? Is your life going the direction that you want it to go? We often hear that greeting, hey, how's life treating you? And we're always like, great, it's wonderful. But a lot of people, it might be accurate, but it's probably not totally accurate. And, it's not that you need to spill your guts to everybody, but that's a good time for you to kind of step back and say, how is life treating me? How is my life going? What's my attitude? What are my thoughts about this? And John N. Mitchell, famous quote, our attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards us. Let me reread that. Our attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards us. So kind of think about that one there for a second. And then honestly, look at your life, look at your relationships, look at your career, look at your dreams, look at your hopes for the future. Look at all those things that make you, you, and say, can I tweak it a little bit? Do I need a total overhaul? What would make my life better? Now, I do want to stress something. When I'm talking about changing your attitude and that correcting storm, I'm not talking about one of those gut-wrenching, dramatic, horrific things that happens to us that we don't have any options to make any changes. I'd like you to start thinking about it now. And I also want to stress something to you, and that is, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counselor, I'm just a coach. But more important than that, I'm just a retired cop. I'm a 50-some-year-old woman who throughout life has realized it hasn't always gone how I wanted it to go. It hasn't always gone how it could have gone. And I had control over a lot of that. A lot of it I didn't have control over. Let's be honest, there's things we don't have control over. But I've always had control. Let me rephrase that. I could have always had control. I could have recognized the control I had over my attitude, and I could have adjusted it. I think that as I've gotten older, I think that maybe through a little bit of desperation, I think from wanting something better and wanting something more, I've recognized that I can look at my life, I can look at my attitudes, and I can make some adjustments. And honestly, you can too, if you're ready, if that's what you want. So let's get some information going here. And this is some stuff that I'm going to be looking down at my notes with. Let's learn a little bit about attitude. You have components of your attitude. You have cognitive, which is your thoughts and beliefs. You have affective component, which is how the subject, your life, the situation, what happened, how it made you feel. And you have the behavioral component and how your attitudes influence your behavior. And what forms our attitudes? Experiences, social factors, learning, conditioning, observations. And we have explicit attitudes, and this is kind of important. It kind of hit me when I thought about it. I have explicit attitudes. I'm clearly aware, and I'm consciously aware how those attitudes influence my behavior. Like, I know it, I'm aware of it, I understand it, I'm not gonna argue it, I got it. Then there's the implicit attitudes. It's unconscious, but it still affects my behavior. So I might not be aware of it, but it's still affecting my behavior. So attitude changes can occur when our attitude is modified, when we modify our attitude. And a couple ways that happens is compliance. The interesting thing about compliance is it only lasts as long as the pressure is on you. So it's just like temporary. And again, it's only as long as that external pressure is on you, do you maintain that attitude. The other one is identification. And that means you adopt the group's attitude. This happens in families, this happens in groups you hang out with. Lots of studies have been done that shows what happens when kids go to college, and they might go conservative and because their families are conservative, and then they end up being a little bit more liberal because the groups are hanging out with their liberal, or vice versa. I mean, it happens all directions. But identification, so you adopt the group's thoughts, and oftentimes you do that to belong or for status. Then the last one I'm going to mention is internalization. And the thoughts or the credible pressures, the persuasion, it must fit into your existing value system. So it doesn't really change you so much. And it does have to produce satisfaction in your life. Internalization. So that's not like some far crazy change in attitude. It's just something that already kind of fits in. Maybe you haven't considered it before, but it doesn't violate any of your current thoughts. So, and some folks change their attitude to match their behaviors. And we often see this with people that are doing things that they know aren't in their best interest. And so instead of changing what they're doing, or even if they might not have the ability to change what they're doing, it might be a higher thing going on in their life where they're not really able to change it. An addiction, a situation that they're in, something they don't really have a lot of control. So they change their attitudes to match their behaviors. But is that really what we want? If we want to say that we have the ability to live our lives, if we have the ability to make our own decisions, if we have the power over our lives, over our future, do we really want to do that? And I'm not making that decision for you. I want you to make that decision for yourself. So if we were to acknowledge that we need to make some changes in our attitude because it's not working for us, or it could be better, there's a couple steps that you can do, that you can take that will help change your attitude. Number one, you want to identify and understand that you want to change. Are you needing a slight tweak, or is it a major overhaul? And it's often good to set clear goals. And also look for a role model. Aim high. Look for somebody in your life that has what you want. You don't have to know all the intricacies of their life. It's because, not everybody's perfect. You don't have to know everything about them, but find something about them that you admire, and then figure out what it would take for you to get to that point, to that action, to that thought, to that attitude, to that outward appearance. And I'm not talking, what they look like their hair, their makeup, whatever. I'm talking about how they portray themselves outwardly to the world. Do they accomplish their goals? They have a lot of drama in their life. And how will number three, how will your life be different if you change your attitude? This is a lot of fun here to think about this. How will your life be different? A lot of people don't want to let go of what they have. They like the angst and the drama and the anger, and they like to be the shit show is pretty much all they can think about. They like the thought of being center ring of the circus and stuff. But does that really work? I mean, long term, is that really a good operations plan to get what you want out of life? I mean, there's going to be a day when you don't have the energy for that anymore, or you realize that the people that you've attracted and the people that you've kept close to you aren't progressing through life. They're not setting goals and meeting them. And I'm not being critical of people who operate that way. I'm not being critical of people who think that way. And I'm not being disrespectful. And this is not judgmental. And if it comes across that way, I apologize. First and foremost, I apologize for that. I just want each of us to think about how we're living. Is it getting us where we want to be? Is it where we want to be in life? So that was number 3. Number 4, who will you surround yourself with? Who are your buddies? Who do you hang out with? Who do you call if you need help? And I heard a fabulous statement yesterday. It was, have a friend of you and have a friend of your marriage. So let's change that to a friend of yours, a friend of you, or a friend of your life. So let's say that I call somebody up and I'm like, you're not going to believe what happened. And my girlfriend goes, oh my gosh, you need to blah, 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 blah. And, that's not really going to help me any. Instead, should this person say, Kimberly, ugh, that's kind of rough. Let's think about how you can approach that. And then I could maybe salvage some relationships or not make myself look stupid or not make myself look petulant. So again, a friend of me and a friend of my life. I want friends of my life. I want friends who care about me. So I want to surround myself with friends. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't say, hey, you want me to go kick their ass? And that's not what you mean. I mean, you might mean it. That's not what you're going to do. You're going to support your friend making a good decision so that they can get what they need out of life. So, and also, number 5, what do you read, watch, or listen to? What keeps your momentum going? What feeds into you? Now, a lot of it is just entertainment, but I think we do need to stop and step back and say, is all this stuff I've read over these last couple months, all these things I've watched, all these things I've listened to, where has it gotten me in life? Is it holding me back? Is it affecting my attitude in a way that I don't need it done? Is it making me more negative? Is it making me where I don't trust myself, where I don't trust life? Now, obviously, you can learn a lot from listening to different people, and you don't have to listen to people just that you agree with. It's always good to listen to opposing facts, opposing sides and stuff. Be very, very careful, though. Be very careful. You want to protect yourself, and you want to listen to what makes you think, but doesn't make you negative, doesn't pull you back, doesn't drain your energy in a long-term way. And then number 6, and so, so important, is you want to believe in yourself. You need to believe in yourself. You need to think that your life is worth it, that you are worth it, that you are worth the efforts, that you are worth the uncomfortable thoughts, you're worth the uncomfortable conversations, you're worth learning about more, you're worth changing, stopping, pivoting, coming up to a negative thought and halting and saying, how does this feed into me? How does this serve me? How does this help me? And then go from there. And, take some time to do it. You might develop some skills that you can use quickly, but some of these are things that we have to really, really work on. So to sum all of this up, like John N. Mitchell said, our attitudes towards life determines life attitudes towards us. Do we want life to beat us up? Do we want our life to beat us up? Do we want to feel like we have no control in our life? Do we want to be shocked when some things happen? I don't. I don't. I mean, I know life's going to smack me around anyway. So if I could have the right attitude going into things, think of how powerful that would be. Think how absolutely powerful that would be. Think that I'd be a better Kimberly. I would be a better daughter, a better wife, a better mother. I'd be a better workout partner. I would be a better retiree. I'd be a better coach. I'd be a better friend. I'd be a better example for people who maybe are looking for that example. Remember we were talking looking for role models. I don't have to know I'm the role model. Nobody has to tell me that. But I would rather be a model of something positive than of something negative. So what I ask of you and of me, of all of us, I ask us to take a moment and look, kind of think where we're going in life, where we're at in life, how we got here. Maybe tweak your attitude. Maybe do a clean slate attitude on some things. Don't always accept things as they are. Now, you will always hear me say that you are worth the effort, but I also want you to pick your battles, pick your fights. So know what could be changed, know what you have the power, know what's yours to change. Don't try to change something that belongs to somebody else. Don't try to change somebody else's life. Yours, your attitude, your approach to life. So that next time somebody say, how's life treating you? You in the back of your mind go, man, I am treating life. I am in control of life. So I hope you got something out of this, and I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear of a situation that you had to adjust your attitude or something that you found out afterwards really could have been done a little bit different. And also any suggestions you have for me, I would love to hear it. Thanks so much. Y'all be careful. Bye-bye.